Hey, thank you so much for pressing play. Welcome to this episode of the Akashic Show. We're so excited that you decided to press play, especially if you're wondering, am I doing what it is that I meant to do here? Did I incarnate at a certain time in a certain place for a certain purpose? Do I have a purpose? Do I have a job to do? Is there something that I know that I'm meant to be doing, but I'm not doing it? Or maybe I'm doing it, but I'm looking to expand it further. Well, if that's you, then this episode is definitely for you. I promise you, you're going to get a ton of great information about how you can identify whether you're doing what you're supposed to do while you're here on the planet. And you're going to get some tips and some ideas on how you can get started right away if you're not, or how you can expand it if you're already doing it but want to do it in a bigger way. So thank you guys so much for pressing play. Thank you so much for tuning into us live every single Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific time. That is 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we come to you live right here off the Akashic Network. If you're brand new to the Akashic Network and you're brand new to this show, thank you guys so much. Welcome so much. On the Akashic Network, we've got daily shows happening for you every single day right here on this Akashic Academy Network page. So make sure that your notifications are turned on and you're staying up to date with all of our shows, because there's so much great information and content for you here to both educate, entertain, inspire, uplift, heal, all that kind of good stuff. And if you're not familiar with us, well, you definitely should be, and welcome. But if it is the first time you're tuning in, you may be wondering, well, who are we? Well, my partner here is Emily Harrison. She is the founder and director at the Akashic Academy. Emily is certifying light workers all over the world to read your Akashic records, to be able to tap into those intuitive abilities, those psychic gifts. She runs a wonderful class called Intuitive Development inside of the Academy every Wednesday for us. She's a mother. She's a businesswoman. She's my partner here, and she is your co-host every single Friday. Emily, it's Friday. How's it going?
What's up, my friend? You're low on fishermen, you said today. So everybody, let's just send Coach Nick all of our love and healing. He's healing very, very quickly, and he's saying, "Yep, he's sharing himself there." But it's you still rock and roll, no matter what it is that you're moving through, and you hold just such profound space for me to be able to take all of this passion and this creativity and this intuitive information that's coming through me and put it into a form and a structure so I can really feel like I'm showing up in what I'm meant to do. And that's really a lot of the energetic blueprints that we're laying here in the foundations of this movement of the Akashic Academy. We want people to be able to stand in their mission, to feel like they're doing what they're meant to do. So I'm super excited to not only dive in and talk with you and with everyone who's joining us today about that, but I'm also super excited because I know that between the two of us, we have the combination of skills and information and experience to help people be right in that place too. So I'm just so grateful and blessed that my path has crossed yours, because you've added so much and you've given me so many tools. And you've given me a lot of friendship too. You've held a lot of space for me and really like lifted me up and encouraged me in times when, because I reached my threshold too. And, we push each other over that just so we can continue to grow and expand. And we're creating that environment here for everyone. This spiritual expansion journey, it looks like a lot of development of intuition and your psychic skills and come online. And it becomes a very magical journey. But it really becomes magical, you guys, when you take it from the realm of just knowing and understanding it and applying it to your life. This is the age that we're in right now, figuring out what does it mean to apply these things to our life. Creating our own jobs and standing in our missions is a huge part of it. So I'm stoked to talk about that today, because seriously, like it lights me up. It drives me. It's so much fun to be in this space. And I want other people to be there with us. So thank you for joining me today.
Awesome. Thanks. Yeah. And I agree with you. It is a lot of fun. And I find that it's a lot of fun when you're doing it together. Like you mentioned, we hold each other up, we encourage each other, we expand each other, we challenge each other. And that dynamic in a nice community environment what's that old saying? All ships rise with the rising tide, or with the rising water. Ooh. Basically, as one person expands within our community, we all get to expand because we hold that space for each other. that's why, the famous Mahatma Gandhi saying, be the change. When you hold that space and you hold that power for yourself, everybody that you're connected to also is that change. And that's something that you definitely get within the Akashic Academy and the network that we have here. People are just expanding right, left, and center. It's wonderful. Listen, guys, thanks so much. We're going to move into today's show. It's an exciting topic for us. You can see we're both passionate about it. Thank you guys for all the healing and the well wishes for my cold, and as this body recovers. I really appreciate it. Definitely give this video a like and a love. Send some of those bubbles across the screen. Make sure you guys keep the comments coming in, ask questions, and share this video out. There are so many people seeking, searching, looking for answers, and so many people that feel lost right now, and they want to be living a life of meaning. They want to be there. They're maybe sitting in a cubicle right now, or sitting at a job they don't like, and their soul is itching to get on with what they were meant to do. So let's share this video out so we can reach as many of those souls as possible and show them that there is a way to do what you're meant to do in this world and be taken care of both materially and definitely spiritually. And that's what we're going to be talking about. So before we dive into all of that good stuff, you know what time it is, Emily. It's
you know what time it is.
Like, you know what time it is. It's puppet
That's
time.
right.
All right, let me get your comment.
Okay.
I'll line you up first here.
Okay.
All right, one sec. Okay, I'm ready for you.
Ready?
Oh.
You gonna drum roll me?
All right. Oh yeah, totally. I forgot. I'm got multiple things happening here. I'm like,
I know how you multitask, my friend. I know.
It's not very good. Yeah.
Not very good.
Boom.
This is Darlene Osse. I chickened out on pronouncing your last name. I asked Nick, I'm like, how do you pronounce that? Os? I don't know. Anyway, Osso maybe. It doesn't really matter. It's the comment of, you said, I am so grateful that I was led to you. I see growth in the future. Yes, you do. You are in the right place for growth, Darlene. You're feeling what we're throwing down around here. And I'm so glad that you were led here too. Every single week, there are so many more first timers coming in. So welcome, you guys. I want you guys to feel very welcome in this space. Reach out, send Nick and I private messages, say hello. This is really a community about connecting. So thank you, Darlene, for being here. And are you ready for your drum roll, my friend?
I totally am.
Okay.
Boom. This week we've got Molly Knutson. I hope I'm saying that right. Molly Knutson Kaiser. And Molly actually said last week, she says, I run an online healing business. I would love to know more about what I can do to expand further. Please send me some more info. And actually, myself and Molly, we've already connected. She's also going to be a guest on my show on my private page called The Inside Scoop. And I think she's going to be joining us for tonight's webinar as well. So Molly's kind of getting all up in our world. And I've watched some of what Molly's been doing. It's great stuff. And I'm looking forward to knowing her more. And you've been puppetized.
Me too. I want to know, Molly. You did a beautiful job on her too.
Thanks. I was actually a little like, we didn't have time, but my pride definitely stepped in when I was finished. Now, hopefully Molly thinks so too. She might be like, what the heck is that? But, but if you've seen my past puppets, this one is, you'll know that this one was good. Yeah.
But Molly, I admit it. She might not know that. She might not know. So Molly, you got to see his other puppets to know.
If you see my past puppets, you'll know that one was actually really good. So
that was a good one.
I'm really proud of that. Awesome.
Right,
so let's
news.
News. Yeah,
so
news.
Guys,
Why don't you share?
Super duper simple. So we have as much time to talk about this topic today about doing what you're meant to do. First of all, how many of you guys feel that you're doing what you're meant to be doing? I'd like to just get a feel for what's going on with our audience. Tonight, 4 p.m. Pacific, that would be 7 p.m. Eastern time. Coach Nick and I are hosting a free training event where Coach Nick is going to lay down the blueprint of how you build a business. If you want to learn how to build your own online coaching, spiritual healing business, you guys, you got to come to this. This is the real blueprint of what we're using at the Akashic Academy, and you see that it's working. You heard what I shared earlier about needing this kind of form to marry with all of this passion and creativity and healing knowledge. This is the time to join us, you guys. This is the time to take action. The Ascension Gateway is open. There's so much energy here to support you. The cosmos support you. Coach Nick and I are here to support you, and we're just going to lay it down for you guys. I'm going to do an activation within the Akashic Records that's going to help you marry those two energies, the energy of that passion and creativity, that feminine, that magic, that intuition with structure. We got to have structure. Otherwise, it's formless. Otherwise, it's you want me to bring it down to real, like real speak, real vocabulary. All of this psychic, intuitive healing stuff, it's entertainment until we make it real in the world, until we ground it in. And then it becomes a part of our society. And that's what creating your own business will allow you to participate in the bigger picture. And it will give you freedom in your life as well. You're going to feel the fulfillment of standing in what you feel like you were meant to be. You're going to find ways to tap into prosperity and abundance by sharing your service-based mission. This is it. So I want every single one of you guys joining us. Bring your friends. This is how we're going to change the planet. You got to sign up for this. So I have already posted in the comments the link where you guys can sign up. There will be a replay. So even if you can't join us live, make sure that you sign up so that you can get the replay. Yeah, it makes you nervous. Get some. That's where all the good stuff happens. You know, it happens outside of that comfort zone space. And I'm looking forward to sharing more with you guys tonight about just spiritually how powerful bringing that structure is into what we do. So yeah, if you're feeling you're coming up against your own walls and resistance already, that's a good spot to be. So we'll see you guys tonight.
Awesome. Fantastic. So let's dive into this conversation about, taking what it is. Are we here? Are we doing what we're meant to do? Mm-hmm. So I would love to hear your thoughts about that. First of all, how do we identify, what does it mean to even be here doing what we're meant to do? What is your whole perspective on this conversation?
Well, just for clarity and just so like we're all using the same vocabulary, mission and purpose are a little bit different in my mind. Your only purpose is really to be happy, to find that it's a spiritual journey back into oneness. In terms of mission, many of us feel called to show up in a certain way. And sometimes we feel out of alignment with that mission. First of all, what I want to say is I don't think we're ever out of alignment with it. I think everything is divinely unfolding just how it needs to set us up always for where we need to be. And when I had a drastic change of mission, of career pursuit. Most of the time we associate that with our career pursuit. And do I think that I was in the wrong mission when I was pursuing Hollywood and acting? Hell no. I was right where I needed to be. I didn't love every part of it. I loved the high parts of it. The low parts of it that was part of my polar journey of moving through all of those lessons that I moved through. Not only lessons within myself and realizing like where my self-value I was giving away, but also actually honing my intuitive skills. Acting, holy crap, you guys. Acting will set you up for channeling like nothing else, because you have to like get out of the way. You have to stop editing yourself. You have to relax. You have to allow your being to become a vessel. And so did I ever feel like I was out of my mission? No. But did I feel places and definitely a time when there was a big shift and when I needed to adjust? Yes, you're going to feel those times too. However, it's not a complete breakdown of how you're showing up right now. So it's really important in order to make that leap into the highest potential of who you are. You may be in a job right now that is not allowing you to stand in all of the ways that you can stand in your glory. But I can tell you that there are clues in there. We are always in positions. God bless you, my friend.
Thank you. We're suffering over here.
where our natural gifts and skills are being used, activated, honed in some way. So if you can begin to see from that energetic pattern level how you're showing up in your current job, for example, if you're somebody who can really just shift the energy when you walk in, maybe you don't like your corporate job, but maybe you find that you're a peacemaker and that you can shift the energy as you go into a space. You're good at that. Recognize that. Begin to hone that even more. And the other pieces begin to, like, everything just begins to unfold and fall into place. But you don't get to make that jump to stand in your glory by bitching about where you are right now. It's a combination of recognizing how you're already showing up and then taking that value, placing value in yourself and what you want to shift. And that means your time, your money, your effort. It means you gotta invest and create that space, but you can definitely get there.
Yeah, I love it. And I like how you started off, because I'm in complete alignment with that, where you said, what are my here, what I'm meant to do? What is my, mission? What is all this? And I think that sometimes, especially in the spiritual world, especially in this kind of more like sort of new age sort of ways of looking at spirituality, there's an almost like pressure that's like, are you living your purpose? Are you doing what you're meant to do? And it's like, oh my gosh, am I? I don't know, right? And all of a sudden there's all this anxiety about, oh my gosh, I'm not doing my purpose, and my soul is suffering. First of all, the soul is never suffering. It's the ego and body that suffers, okay? Right now, my body's suffering, but my soul is perfectly fine, okay? And we have to understand that everybody's real spiritual purpose is to understand like that journey back home. In the Hare Krishnas, we call it going back to Godhead is what we call it. Going back to our original consciousness. This is the journey. Now, the way that we all go down that journey is all going to look different materially, but internally, we're all doing the same journey. We're all going back home, back to oneness, back to Godhead, back to heaven, however it is that you want to say it. So the idea comes now that you're given a certain body. So in the Vedics, we look at it like this. Everybody has a certain body. Everybody is given a certain karma. Karma means action. So people think karma means what goes around comes around. And yes, somewhat, but actually karma means action. Action, what actions are you engaged in? And you'll see that everybody has certain tendencies. So for instance, there is a tendency within some people to be teachers, to be guides, to mentor others. They really have this passion for people and this ability to want to help others in their way. We have other people who are more like warrior types. They're the types that are like, we're going to fight for the planet, and we're going to fight for the rights of people, and we're going to clean up the world. And so you see that there's this kind of warrior type person that's out there as well. We'll see that there's a lot of people who are very, what I'll call entrepreneurial, right? They like to move resources and create businesses and make things happen in this way. And then we have a lot of people who are like very artisan type, they like to paint, they like to draw, they like to build beautiful structures. They're very good with their hands. So all of these different types of people out in the world all serve an overall purpose to the bigger picture. One is not better than the other, but all is needed within society to function as a one, as a whole. When I talk about what is, finding your purpose, what I'm really asking is, what is your nature? What do you just naturally gravitate towards doing? Can you see your natural ability in your own life? And then setting up your life in such a way that whatever it is that you're naturally good at, you do it most of the time. And if you can get paid for it, great. And why is that important? Because if you actually can get paid for what you do, then it never feels like you're working. It just feels like you're contributing. You're living a life of service, and naturally society and the universe is providing for you for doing what it is that you're meant to do. To me, when you're in that zone, then you've really honed something nice.
Yeah, I totally agree with you too. I use a little bit different vocabulary, but I like yours because it's more neutral. Like, what are you just naturally good at? I'm like, what are you passionate about? Wow. So, it's a little calmer state, but I was just like writing down some information that was coming in terms of like that state and Nick talks about like the state of passion, the state of goodness, like all of these different spiritual states. When you are experiencing discomfort, meaning you recognize, I want to be in a higher alignment with Ooh, hive mind. I can tell you some more about that too. Let me write that down. When you're feeling that discomfort, like you want to, like there's something more and you want to be in higher alignment or a different kind of alignment, that discomfort serves to give you the ability to observe that you want that higher alignment, but you can't fuel the higher alignment from the discomfort. It has to be fueled from a neutral state. You know, you can't use that being angry and pissed off and frustrated and feeling trapped and expect to get up to a different space and if you can, you're just going to drag your chains with you and you're going to feel chained to this new job that you created for yourself and you're going to be still unhappy. So you really have to address the internal state as you move along this process. I mean, these things are really married. It's like every bit of your life is going to begin to align the more you address that central journey back to the source and exploring how you are showing up in this individual avatar, in your personality, reflecting that source energy. Winston said that you talked about the hive mind. So for me, what just came up is the beehive. So when one bee learns something, the other bees within like nanoseconds within that hive instantaneously have also acquired that ability and skill. That's like the law of association. And that's why you want to come do it with us at the Akashic Academy, because not only are we're telling you what works, we're actually doing it, and we're doing it in real time. I mean, this is the work that doesn't feel like work that Nick and I show up doing. I don't know how many hours a day you do it, my friend. I sit in my office quite a bit, but I freaking love it in here.
Wow. It's a creative place. I think that anybody who, I work a lot, but it doesn't feel like work, and that's the whole idea of being a freedompreneur.
Yeah.
It's like, some people are advertising it as like, I get to sit on the beach and drink margaritas all day. I was like, no, that's called having a problem. Not right. That's not right. I'm just joking. Right? I was like,
and that's only for special occasions. That's not for every day.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. If you do that every day, you might have some other challenges, right? The idea of being a freedompreneur and, working, doing the thing you love to do isn't so you can sit around on the beach all day. In fact, that is like, you don't need to do much to do that. Like you could just sit around your couch all day and that's fine. You won't find much satisfaction in that because this analogy was always used by our spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada, who said, sugar, you cannot separate sugar and sweetness. You cannot separate light and heat from fire. See, they're one and the same. They're different components of the same. So sugar, the nature of sugar is to be sweet. The nature of fire is to give off light and heat. And the nature of the soul is to be of service. See, the soul wants one thing and one thing only, love. It wants to give and receive love. It is experiencing pure love. And in that way, when you remember that that is the nature of who you are, it comes down to love, absolutely selfless love. When you can reach states where you can serve selflessly, then you will feel connected, joyful, you will feel creative, your intuitions will be opened. All of those things that we strive for will actually all naturally open up because they're your natural state. So remember that at the end of the day, whatever it is that you do, you think that sometimes in this world we get too much caught up in the doing. I got to do this. I'm meant to be a singer. No, it's the joy that you feel while you're singing. I'm meant to coach people. No. It's not coaching because there's many different ways I could teach people. But it is the joy and the love that is felt while doing that particular activity. And generally, that's why I ask people, what is your nature? What is it that you tend to naturally gravitate towards to? Because your soul knows what it is. It's only your egoic mind that is like, I got to search for this big purpose and it's not this and that. The ego makes all kinds of mess where there's no mess. The soul just knows. The soul's just being. It has no limitation to this. So when we go back to that state of love, then we become self-satisfied. And when we become self-satisfied, we could serve others. And then we could create a business, or we could create a healing business. Easy, because we're doing it out of love rather than out of ego. The
world becomes so malleable.
That's
when
right.
You're in that state. Ego is rigid. Right. And resistance is rigid, and it's hard to get out of it. That's why you get stuck in it. You gotta get malleable. And when you get malleable, so does your whole universe.
That's right. Mahatma Gandhi said, be like water, meaning water takes the shape of whatever it's moving into. And if you think about it throughout a day, if you chalk up your purpose to the doing, you're for sure going to suffer, because right now I may be doing what I meant to do. I'm on camera. I'm teaching. But, you know, when this show's done, I got to go wash some dishes, or I got to go scoop the kitty litter, you know, right? And if all of a sudden if I'm like, it's not my purpose to scoop the kitty litter, actually, scooping this kitty litter is an act of service and love to those beings. Washing the dishes can be an act of service and love to the family, to the home. Everything you do can be dovetailed as an act of love. When you do it in the consciousness of service, then you realize my purpose isn't what I'm doing. My purpose is who I am while I'm doing whatever it is that the world is calling me to do at this moment in time.
Mm-hmm. I remembered that this morning when I was packing my kids' lunch, and I was in slow-mo, and my body, and I was just like, I'm just not like falling into my job this morning. And I haven't been grocery shopping. Well, it has to happen every couple days at my house. Otherwise, it's like it was this morning. Like literally, I'm putting like shredded lettuce and croutons, I told Nick, in my kids' lunch. And I was approaching it from like, and then I realized, nope, service. I'm showing up in service. And as soon as I did that, honestly, I began to find a little more things to pack in my kids' lunch than just the croutons and the lettuce. I was like, I could do this, I could do this. And so I always remember that when I'm showing up as my mom self and my wife self doing dishes. I remember that bhakti service. I love it.
Yeah, creativity opens up when in service. Thank you.
Yeah. So I want to give you guys an activation today before we go that is going to be a gateway for you to begin to make your universe more malleable and to create the job, the career, to stand in that mission-driven purpose and allow that to begin to unfold for you. And like I said, the key is beginning to look around your life, your job, even if you're showing up as, like, you're not getting paid for what you do, you're showing up in your mission as a mom and a wife. And maybe you feel like you want to show up in another aspect of that. What I want to call your attention to is all the ways that who you naturally are. What did you say, Nick? What are your natural abilities? What do you naturally gravitate towards? What are you good at? What lights you up? Allow those things to start coming up for you right now. I want you to just, as you're allowing those to come up, follow your breath inward just to a really calm and quantum place within yourself. And I want you to allow into your awareness all of the ways that you are naturally gifted, all of the ways that you do feel lit up. How are you showing up in your life already in those ways? And allow yourself to see and experience that. Because that's the way we're going to bring that energy in. That's the energy that's going to soften us up, allow us to see that it's already here. And as you begin to see and bring awareness to how you're already showing up in this way, any aspect of your career that's not supporting that is going to naturally fall away. You're going to find yourself inspired, and you're going to find yourself with a little more trust and a little more get up and go to just keep moving through this process. You're going to find that allies align for you, that doors open for you. And we do that by just observing how gracefully, beautifully, and easily we're already showing up in those areas of our life. Breathing that energy in, allowing that to become the resonance inside of your being. Not that you're searching for how you stand in your mission, not that you're searching for being in that state of love and that state of standing in your gifts. You already are. Feel that. Honor yourself for all the ways you're already showing up. And just set an intention now that that's going to be the vibration that you hold with you now. That's your new vibration. Bringing that vibration with you tonight. So be it and so it is.
Fantastic. Well, thank you everybody so much for tuning in. I hope you got some information for yourself. Remember tonight's webinar, we're going to be giving you a structure, a full blueprint so that you could take your nature, whatever it is that you want to do and contribute as your service to the planet. We're going to be showing you how to do it, how you can generate income for yourself and your family so you can do it in a big way and really make the difference that I believe that you're here to make through your gifts and service. So thank you guys so much. Emily, you want to tell them what's coming up next on the Academy?
Absolutely. Brad Johnson. Yep, Brad Johnson will be coming up at 11 a.m. Pacific time. That's 2 p.m. Eastern time with the expansion point. Then 4 o'clock, you guys got to come hang out with us for a little bit of training. And then this evening, we've got the Feng Shui lady coming to you guys. So you can just hang out with us all day long.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful day.